Hey guys, Cholera here once again with Diggity, and this is going to be game 2 of Stork, the Pterodactyl Protoss versus Kal. We're not going to spoil who won in the OSL finals. We spoiled up to then. Go watch them. They're on, of course, the Violotag account where this video is also. Thank you guys for all those who stayed on live, and big shout out to all of you. Please do leave some feedback in the sc2gg.com general lounge feedback. And whoa, we just skipped right to the game here.
Whoa.
Looks like.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. So, did you catch the colors there? Hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll see who's to their face.
This is yellow is Kal here, and the other player will be Stork. Green.
So, Teal. Okay, yeah, there we go. Wow. So yeah, game 1, it was interesting. I didn't expect Stork to try to go for some sort of off cheese of his own. He kind of went for an early expansion, kind of cheating. He was hoping that Kal was going for a pretty standard tech build, and then instead Kal going for the 3-Gadix. I wonder how that's going to play psychologically into game 2. I think Stork can just play a standard straight game, just do your standard 2-gate, then get your Observer, then get your Reaver, and just play straight from there, and he'll end up winning these games. I was surprised that he decided to go for a quick expansion. I just think Kal has some pretty good mechanics. I'm not going to say that Kal is just so mechanically inferior to Stork, but I think heads up, over the long term, Stork will beat Kal mechanically if he just plays a standard Protoss versus Protoss game, if he plays safe rather than risky like he did in game 1. Although Stork has been criticized in the past for just not being creative enough and as a result losing games. So anyway, gateway down there for Kal, so not anything crazy, but go ahead and take it away, caller. What do you think? Do you think there's going to be psychology into game 2?
I think that's a good question. I actually kind of disagree with you here. I mean, Stork can play safe, and he might be able to win with safe builds, but there's a balance between safety and an appropriate aggression, I guess you can put it. In his series against Best, I mean, the games he won, he was completely aggressive from the beginning. There was the proxy gate inside of Best space. There was a proxy gate on Chapeng Ryong. There was those fast Reavers with fast shuttle speed that he used as basically these deadly kamikaze drops. So I think Stork, I don't think he can fall into complacency is my point, and just stick to a very, very standard game, because Kal's Kal's not that bad. Kal can pretty much out strategize him and just try to be more creative than him, and despite how solid Stork is, he can still lose to creative stuff, especially last game. I mean, that was like you said, it was unsafe, and it yet wasn't it wasn't aggressive. It was just unsafe. I didn't like the build at all, basically. I mean, what do you think about that, going the 2-gate without observers directly into Nexus? I mean, it just seems like a really dangerous build.
Yeah, it just seemed very, very dangerous. He was just hoping to catch... It was like a coin flip. He was hoping to catch Kal out of position without any information, and just ended up paying for it as a result. So I guess I almost feel like that wasn't Kal's win, that was Stork's loss. Putting that pylon in position to avoid he's still got that probe alongside. He wants to make sure he doesn't get minor pyloned here, and he's trying to put that pylon in position to be a little bit of an anti-minor pylon. He's got to be very wary of that probe. Kal's definitely a player who would go up and try to do something like that. In the meantime, just cycling around inside Kal's base. And did he do... never mind, I'm not going to mention that, because I think I might be mixing the Bisu games and the Best games, so I'm not going to talk about either of those games. But actually, no, I will. Did he do... speaking of something interesting, was it Stork? Did he do that inside 2-gate against Best? That ended on... it was on Plasma, yes, against Best.
Yeah, it was against...
So keep in mind... we're not going to see that this game, but obviously on the opposite end, he's got to be sneaky there. That was a nice little drop there, leaving that pylon, looks like, there to get that probe scout out. That Dragoon's going to have a harder time sneaking out of that probe line as a result. Looks like the probe scout is going to be killed on the opposite side, though, in the base. And we'll see if that pylon gets... I think that was Kal's pylon right there. It's kind of hard to tell on the colors that we're seeing here, but we'll see if he cancels it here momentarily. Interesting. Offside pylon. Looks like we're going to see some proxy tech here.
Yeah, Stork looks like he's going to be putting a proxy robo there, I guess. And this time it's Kal going for the fast... Oh, no. It's a proxy pair of gateways, most likely, he's going to put down. Yeah. Wow, so this is going to come from this off position, and Kal is the one now going blind into Nexus, although his Nexus timing is a little better than Stork's, I think, because he's gone straight 1-gate into Nexus. But Stork is going to be able to scout it once he puts a little more pressure. Well, it looks like no, he'll have to back off, but I'm sure Stork will eventually get this spot on it, and he'll realize he's in a very good position, I think. So I think just by build orders, I mean, PvP is not as bad as ZVZ and how hard how hard you lose if you know how hard the counters are for the different opening builds, but it is pretty unforgiving when it's like this, when it's 3 gate versus 1 gate into Nexus. It's gonna be tough. Oh, and fourth
Oh.
gate going up.
4-gate Dragoon, and that right there, unless this gets scouted, and I don't know that it will by Kal, that will be
Huh.
game. The one thing, Kal is going to get that probe scout in. This could be huge.
Yeah.
He's getting that probe scout in, and if he's not going to see a robo, so he's got to know something's up. The question is what sort of what is he going to expect? Is he going to expect the off-tech Reaver? Is he just going to expect something AF expansion? I wish we could see what building that was. It looks like he is starting to prepare for this, getting additional gateways down, putting down additional pylon, and that might be a robotics facility at that location. He looks like he might push Reaver here. Is it a Citadel?
It's a Citadel.
Citadel,
it's a Citadel.
Dude, interesting.
Yeah.
So might go Dark Templar to
Yeah.
try to counter this, knowing that Stork is essentially going to be playing blind. He's not going to have observers in position. But the question is will Stork's Dragoons be in time?
Yeah, I mean, Stork's already in the natural, though. Kal's going to sacrifice this natural expansion. I think he realizes what's going... Well, no, he's not going to sacrifice. I mean, he has the same number of goons still for now, but he's allowing Stork to take this ground here. I guess he realized he can't hold the bridge. And yeah, he's going to lose this for sure, but he's going to go for a DT drop in the meantime. So I guess it was very, very just a great prediction by him that Stork was going to go for this mass gateway approach instead of going for... Well, I mean, I guess... Protoss never go for proxy robotics facilities, do they? I mean, do they do that often? I don't know, because I mean, he basically knew that Stork was going extra gateways, not that Stork was going for some kind of proxy robo, because I think otherwise he wouldn't be going for this strategy of getting the Templars.
I think yeah, my guess is, yeah, he predicted that very well, going for the gateways rather than or I should say going for DT or other. The question now is will Stork have something in position to get it out in time? And this is very clever on two reasons for Kal, because he knows, first of all, that tech's out of position, his units are completely out of position. So if he gets that shuttle back around, there's not going to be any Dragoons in the base to really fend off Dark Templar, even if he does get an observer out. Also, that shield battery on the front is going to buy some time for him. In the meantime, Stork trying to go for an expansion now. So even if Stork does get this observer out in time, if he doesn't catch that shuttle in time, he's not going to be able to get his Dragoons back in position to defend his own base. So really clever. 2 more gateways going down now for another Dragoon going around backside for Kal. So basically, Stork has to weather this. Dark Templar pushing out now. There's no observers out in the field, and we'll see if Stork just manages to notice those that waiver there, and it doesn't look like he has. He's not bringing his Dragoons back, even if those observers are in position to deal with this. And the probe scout just going by now, laying a pylon. There's a single Dragoon there, but 1 Dragoon does not beat 2 Dark Templar. I feel like Kal's going to take game 2 as well, because he's probably going to be able to get those Dark Templar inside that probe line, do a lot of damage there, and then push out with his 4 gateways immediately afterwards. So and more Dark Templar going out to those gateways, making sure that Stork has to be 2 places at once. Stork trying to get 2 more gateways down, but it's just going to be too late. And Dark Templar are in fact making it inside the base. Stork sees it now, but it's just too late. Those 2 Dark Templar should be able to beat that. Actually, 2 Dragoons out now and trying to disturb there. Actually, no, Stork might actually be able to hold this. I'm surprised that he had those Dragoons out in time. But yeah, things wow. Still able to kill a lot of probes here, though.
Still able to kill a lot of probes, but Stork, nice. Well, I mean, 2 goons can... I think even 1 goon can micro decently against, well, at least 1 DT, but, and 2 DTs probably could, one could distract the goon, the other one could go around killing probes. But regardless, well, I don't know if that was really much of a success. I thought maybe a drop would have been more successful just because of the surprise element, but it seems like Stork was actually pretty surprised, and he still managed to come out just fine. Kal with his 3rd DT coming in now. He's going to chop off a couple more probes. Looks like Stork has managed to hold his ramp, though, with that goon and the observer, and he's going to be able to be fine here against this DT. So I don't know who's ahead right now. I mean, once Stork gets another DT out, another observer out, I think he can go and rush this this natural expansion. I think he still has a superior army here on the ground. There's just a couple of DTs mixed in. Now, Stork's economy isn't that good either. So, you know, Kal lost to Nexus, 400 minerals. Stork has lost probably 5 or 6 probes. And, you know, we're going to have to see who's ahead here. This is definitely turning out to be an interesting game.
I still feel like Stork's a little bit ahead just because he has this Nexus up. The question is if he can secure it and transfer some probes over there. The problem is he doesn't have a lot of probes to transfer. He did end up losing a lot of his probes to that DT attack. What I was thinking Kal would do is send a DT to that. He obviously hadn't scattered it, but hunted out those additional gateways and tried to put a DT there. And I think if he had put a DT at that location, taken down the pylon right now, if he knew it was at the 9 o'clock location, we'd be seeing a different game at this stage. But right now, Kal, I think, is pulling ahead. He's got his secondary up right about the second about the same time as Stork. He has observers out, and now the game's kind of resetting.
Oh.
Now this is the difference in the game, is this right here. He's spotting that 9 o'clock location. If DT's managed to get out there, that's going to, and I don't see any observer yet in location to really help defend that. That's a very vulnerable, it's vulnerable for Stork. That's another target of opportunity that he's going to have to defend, and it's going to be difficult to defend.
It looks like this game is actually going to move into the late game, regardless of the fact that Stork went for proxy gates and Kal lost his Nexus and went for a DT rush, I guess. But it is going to go to the late game. Stork also getting his Templar archives up. Meanwhile, Kal's actually going to mine himself out here on this little choke. That's actually an interesting move. I think he might be trying to get that to facilitate taking that mineral only at the corner there. On the other hand, it is a definite double-edged sword there, because now Stork is going to be able, if he somehow can get some speed launch there or something, he can sneak into Kal's base and cause some havoc there. We're going to have to see though. But Kal, meanwhile, I think has isolated these 3 gateways. So those 3 gateways are going to go down right now for Stork. Stork hasn't been producing out of them for a while, but certainly that is a mineral cost for Stork. Kal is now fully functional at his natural expansion. I think his probe saturation is actually really good. I'm not sure how Stork's is. Stork looks like he's actually behind on probes. Yeah, a little bit behind on probes, but meanwhile pulling a lot of gateways in. So both players have, oh, and Stork with a DT now. Both players have skipped Reavers entirely. Definitely an interesting game here. No Reavers are going to be made in this game, I believe. It's going to be Speedlot, Goon, and Templar from now on. Oh, Kal's going to not notice this DT coming in. I think well, I don't know if they're shooting at his face to see if he knows or not, and this could be really bad for him.
Trying to, oh man, and that pylon's actually acting a little bit as a funnel there. I'm surprised that DT didn't get more kills getting in position in front of that pylon as the probes were running through. But yeah, now he's going to have to bring that observer back. I didn't see the additional observer out in the field, and let's see if they'll see it on screen. Yeah, trying to get a cannon in that secondary. Now it looks like he's just trying to push through and running into a lot of trouble here, still being able to get some probe kills. And those Zealots are now speed upgraded, so at least Stork's going to get that information. Just trying to play a little bit of a dodge game. Stork taking an expansion in the meantime. Still a lot of probes going down. Wow, gas getting disrupted. Beautiful micro here from Stork.
Hero Dark Templar there, 7-kill DT there. Quite manly, I have to say, even though DTs usually aren't very manly. They're just sneaky, that's all they are. Little sneaky ninja dudes.
Ninjas are manly.
But it looks like ninjas, I don't know. I'm more of a samurai fan myself, to be absolutely honest.
I'm not saying that samurai are not more manly than ninjas, but ninja is totally manly. You even kidding?
No, I'm not. Yeah, ninjas are manly, but like Zealots are kind of like samurai, and ninjas are kind of like DTs. And I gotta say, Zealots for me are manlier. They're very straightforward. They just go in there. They don't have cloak. They don't have anything. All they have is honor. The power of honor, and
you could strip a Zealot down naked,
giant muscles.
Still die for ire. That's true.
That's absolutely true. Anyway, Stork actually, I think, has hidden his DT at the lower right corner where Kal's new Nexus is, actually, believe it or not. I'm pretty sure I saw that, actually. So
yeah,
we'll see what Stork decides to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that down. It looks like he's producing some more Templar, so he's thinking about pushing up some pressure now. Yeah, the Dark Templar's just hanging there, waiting for probe kills. Brilliant.
That is sneaky as hell.
This is gonna be wait for the cattle to come to you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. When is Stork gonna unleash this? Almost like a stop lurker here. Oh, we're gonna see if Kal notices this. Of course, you don't notice. Oh, Kal, very good there. I mean, I wonder how many times these programmers check their mini maps or just check around their bases, because you don't get notified when you lose a probe like that. One hit loss, you don't hear anything.
Wow. Yeah, and more probes being transferred, but not after a 5 loss there. So, and Stork, yeah, it's basically reset. It's now back in the mid game, and it's going to come down to big micro versus big micro. I didn't see a high Templar on Stork's end, or at least I didn't see a large number of high Templar on Stork's end. That could be the difference here in this match. It looks like Stork is taking, I think he secured 4 bases for himself. I'm sorry, 3 bases outside of his main at this stage. So I think he's somewhat ahead just because of that disruption on that supply. If that is what I'm seeing on the mini map. No, sorry, it just looks like 2 expansions. He's got the instead of going for the mineral only behind his base, he went for the expansion there at the, what is that, the 11 o'clock. But still, I'm not seeing a lot of Templar. He's instead gone for a couple of Archons here. If they engage on open ground, I think that might be in his favor. But if he's engaging over some of these bridges, that Psystorm's going to do all sorts of damage.
Yeah, right now, both players are actually. It's not. It's very interesting. Oh, looks like a bunch of expansions going up here for. Well, no, a bunch of pylons going up. But what I was trying to say is, whoever crosses the bridges first is going to be at a big disadvantage. Neither player wants to be the one who crosses the bridges because they're going to be facing. They're going to be funneled into Psy Storms and goons and all that. But meanwhile, Stork has actually managed to sneak one zealot across, at least to the left. Stork looks like he's going to try to engage on this area on the left side here, but he needs to be careful not to get funneled. And a good storm there, decent storms here from Kal. But Stork at least is baiting him to use his storms early though, and Kal's not going to have those 3 storms later when the main fight happens. It looks like Kal actually is behind on the upgrades. Stork has +1 attack. Kal is still upgrading +1 attack most likely right now. So Stork with a tiny advantage should he decide to take it in this next battle. It looks like he might decide to go for it. No, he's just trying to catch a couple more units here. The problem is these bridges. I mean, Stork is probably going to try to think of some way to flank. He could possibly flank from the left side once again, but right now it's just a cat and mouse game. Both players just look at the middle of the map. They're just revolving around one another pretty much on patrol move.
And it looks like the Zealot of Cal's is going to be able to sneak in. He's going to see this expansion here. He is going to be able to attack it. I don't know if Stork's going to be able to stop it or not. He's probably going to cancel that and end up losing a pylon. No, he is going to funnel Zealots in to defend this. The question is and with that upgrade, he should end up winning this fight here. But having to cancel, not canceling the Nexus, having to cancel whatever the additional building, which I think it was cannons, and just building cannons as distractionary forces here in the meantime to try to save it. He loses the probe, but does manage to save that expansion. Right? No, gonna get this Templar. That's so hilarious. It's like the threatening Templar. He's like, oh, I'm gonna sidestorm, and then doesn't. But right now, I think Stork's winning the battle simply because he has gas, whereas I don't know that Kal does. Templar comes
Templar sneak in the back. Stork's gonna see it with this probe, but it's gonna be too late here. He needs to pull his probes, of course. What was he doing? Kal needs
putting
to
a pylon down there just to let him know he sees it. I see you.
The probe's gonna harass this Templar. Stork looks like he's gonna build a cannon there. Oh, only one probe going down to that storm though. That was a pretty poorly placed storm. And Stork. Oh my goodness! That storm caught 3. So I don't think that was really necessary by Stork to lose that, but I guess well, he didn't pull all of his probes. I guess that would have been more of a disruption by itself, just pulling them. Anyway, though, basically both players, I think Kal might have a slight economic lead. I think he got his corner expansion before Stork got that expansion at the 9 o'clock, but both players at 4 bases basically right now.
So yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to secure that 3 o'clock. He's probably going to be able to secure that 3 o'clock. I don't know that Stork's going to be able to secure this base right here, and that's going to be absolutely huge. Trying to run with an attack force to get in location now, but really, yeah, I think it's the gas differential. I don't know. And wow, running into headlong to those Archons. And Psystorm going off, and that was an empty Psystorm there. Another Psystorm over all the Zealots. Huge attack here. A lot of the Archons, it looks like most of these Archons are Stork. I think Stork is going to be able to push up on this, and he's still got a huge Dragoon force coming from behind. One of the Archons getting trapped from behind right there, and he's going to be able to push up. He is going to be able to win this fight. This is going to deny at least an expansion, if not more, but Stork's going to end up losing that. It looks like that 9 o'clock position in the meantime, but how much counter damage is he going to be able to do? He's at least going to be able to deny that there. Keep in mind, Stork's been ahead, I think, 3 gas to 2 I think this entire time because, again, haven't gotten a good look on the map. Nice ice storm in the background there, but basically because Kal took the mineral only rather than additional thing, and right now just pounding here with higher tech units. Those Archons, I think, were the difference right there with additional Dragoons as well, and right now it looks like Stork is closing this game out.
Yeah, it looks like, wow, that was a huge turn of events. I thought that the little bit of harassments that Kal was going to do was going to make a difference, but it looks like Stork just decided, all right, enough fooling around. I'm just going to cross the bridges, and I think Kal might have been slightly distracted when Stork crossed those bridges. Speedlots pouring into Kal's base. There's nothing left for Kal to do but to GG and concede. Well played game by Stork here. Kal definitely. I mean, we saw like nice harassment from both players, Stork with the DT, Kal with the High Templar, but in the end it came down to this pivotal battle, and I think what happened was Kal rushed all of his Zealots headlong into Stork's Archons, who were waiting with open arms, open psionic arms of love, and that was pretty much it. I mean, the micro is you want to get your Zealots against the Goons, not against the Archons. Stork now just you know, basically bulldozing his way up the ramp. He doesn't care if he loses a couple of units more than he should. At this point, if he can just rally all of his gateways here, he should win this battle and take this game.
And I think additionally it was because, as you can see, there's no gas there. I think Stork had additional gas so he could afford to morph Archons rather than just having all-side High Templar there. And I think that really was the big difference there in those attacks right there is Protoss versus Protoss. Gas ends up winning. That's usually the case. I know that's true Terran versus Terran, but that's especially true Protoss versus Protoss, especially early game as well. Kal trying to do what he can, getting backside in, but those Archons immediately turning around. You do not want Archon on Zealot action if you were the Zealot. That just, I mean, Zealots can suffice a lot of things. They are very manly, but that hurts. And now, as you can see, just Kal just trying to back up and hold inside of his base, but right now he's being contained. A shuttle coming up, and that's going to go probably to that bottom left-hand expansion. Stork is meantime running out of a couple expansions, able to expand on top of it. I think he's pretty much sealed this game. I'm just waiting for him a GG from Kal momentarily here.
Yeah, Stork also messing around with the shuttle too. Looks like he's going to go for a double storm drop. Actually, Kal with a nice pull there. Managed to save most of his probes, but it's not going to matter. There's an Archon, there's a bunch of Zealots coming in. That was just gratuitous. In fact, Stork did not need to go for a storm drop. He could have just walked those Archons in and all the probes. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think also Stork had a better army composition in that big battle. Just to replay it again in my mind, I think Kal had more High Templars. He definitely got off some storms, but they just weren't enough. I mean, the Archons in the end made the huge difference for Stork when they just melted those Zealots, and then Stork Zealots were able to kill off the goons. I think you know, just slightly better game sense by Stork, I gotta say.
And right now it looks like this is going to be a cleanup. I think Kal could have gotten through almost any other bracket in this set. I think he could have beaten Nada. I think he could have beaten who else is in the MSL right now. I think he could have beaten basically most of the other players out there, but I don't think he could have taken Stork. It was almost to say bad draw. Not that the games are over yet, so I might end up eating my words if Kal does turn around and end up beating Stork here. But Sight Storming in the dark right there. But he's definitely going to lose this game, and Stork showing why he's such a monster of Protoss versus Protoss. Kal not out of it, but as soon as this expansion goes down, he's going to have to GG because basically this is it. This is his only real producing expansion here. He's sending some pithy forces from behind, but that's just not going to cut it against all these Archons. Look at the Archons just melt through those Zealots. And it's just gang raping that pylon. They're like, oh yeah, there's the GG from Kal.
GG. Stork playing really well this game. Kal not playing poorly. I like how Kal came back, by the way. I mean, from losing that Nexus, that DT sneak attack was quite effective. Had Stork not gone for those observers immediately after going for those gateways, you know, I think Kal could have won the game actually with that one move. So, quite impressive, I think.
Yeah, part of it was that scout. That scout was absolutely huge. But we'll talk about this more as we go into Game 3. Thank you guys for listening. Continue listening on.